Our life begins with belief. Without belief, there is nothing for us to think what we are going to do tomorrow. The very next moment, what we will do, we do not know. Either we wish and do something, or the wish we had taken to our heart long before is self generating into activity. The belief means I do not know what I am going to do, but I want something. I do not know whether I will get what I desire, whether I will accomplish my wish or not. What is my will of tomorrow? Everything is there in our heart, but we fail to understand belief goes first. Later on, things may turn out to be in our way. The belief goes first means we want it, that's it. We are not doing anything about it, but we want it. Later on, we are going to do. It is the belief. Without belief, nobody is working, nobody is functioning. The nature takes care of you, the nature guides you according to whatever you require prior to your doing. You are being guided by the mighty power. The conduction of the impulse from us, from within us, is the guiding force. We want our nature to be our guiding force. So, what do you believe? What do you believe? Each one has a distinct belief for himself without knowing he is believing before doing anything. This we can be very much clear about. The next moment I want to do something, I believe. If only I do, that means I don't have to think but keep on doing anything instinctively, like animals. Human beings have no instinct, but they behave like animals. They go by the knowledge, whatever they have gained from their 5 special senses. They have the ears, by which they get some knowledge. They have the eyes, they have the nose, taste and touch, by which they know certain things, which they call it knowledge. So, they go by the 5 special senses and the knowledge they gained out of those 5 special senses. This means they have the knowledge of the 5 senses, that means they are animals, they have no 6th sense. Every knowledge they gain out of the 5 special senses, and they are proud about their knowledge and they call it a wisdom, definitely they are on the wrong foot. They have only 5 senses out of which they gain the knowledge, so they are animals having only the 5 senses. There is only one sense deep inside the belief. I want is the belief. If you really require, go and get it. Why do you say I want it? I want to do it. You can't do it now, but at a later time. The time is not determined by you. The time comes by on its own, and it may pass by also without our knowledge. So, we may lose so many our needs and wants unless we are aware that our wish brings about a time wherein all my requirements are fulfilled, not by you, but you are guided towards fulfillment. It is not by your knowledge, but because of the belief, there is a perfect coordination between your mind and what you do with your hands. So, what you send forth by your hands is whatever you wished for, and thereafter when the time comes, you are doing certain things to your own favor, You think that you are doing it, but you are conducted, you are guided towards doing something. This is how a believer will believe at any point of time that they are being guided because what they have believed before. Here is a sentence, chapter 8, verse number 24. O you who have believed, respond to Allah and to the Messenger when he calls you to that which gives you life. And know that Allah intervenes between a man and his heart, and that to him you will be returned. You will all be returned in one gathering when the time arrives. O you who have believed, you have already believed. It is not that you are going to believe. Whatever you want, whatever wish you have in your mind, it is that you have believed in certain things. You are not able to do at that point of time when you believe, when you want, when you desire it, but you hope things will come your way on a later date. Is it right? When I want something, I leave it at that. That means belief goes. If there is no belief, I will be barging on that. I will be wanting to acquire some or other. I become cruel. I become unjust. I go to the people, against the people, to acquire certain things, which is not to be on my way, but I take the position of another person. This is how I become unjust. If you are a just person, you can do it all by yourself. If you require somebody else's help, you are unjust already, because you didn't believe that you have believed already in whatever you are desiring for now. The wish turns out to be desire when you go to the people for your requirements, seeking their help. Definitely it is a desire. When it is God given gift a bestow on you, then you will wait as long as necessary, because the time is not yet ripe for you to handle it. So use it in a way. When it is given to you, it is given to you at a day, on a date which is most appreciable by you, and you will be able to use it to just in a just manner, so that the consequences of it will be so good in the future. So, O you who have believed, who have understood that there are so many things in your heart about which you have just believed. I want to stay healthy, I have believed. I cannot make myself healthy today, because health is not something you can see. You can procure it from stores. Everything that is unseen is not purchasable commodity, and money is no good for that. I want to keep up my health. People will go and do workouts in the gym. They are keeping their body fit, not their mind. As a human being, you must have fitness of mind, not fitness of body. Not conditioning the mind that I must go to gym on this day at this hour, and I will complete my gym work in 1 hour. All these things are conditioning. Every day I go there and I come home. 7 o'clock I go to gym. 8 o'clock I come back. I feel refreshed, fresh, and fit. It is conditioning. Conditioning is fit for animals, not for man. Man is always flexible. Man is ever easygoing. Man doesn't want any tough work. He wants to be couched comfortably, leisurely all the time. He wants to lead a life of like a guest, not even a host. So, this is the life man wants. Whether he really wants it, yes, he really wants a paradise like life here, a heavenly life here. If you do so, then go ahead and take it. Start living heavenly. It is something cannot be imagined by way of how you see as nature. You are seeing the nature. You are not going to build up in nature, like way of things that you see around. You are not going to create a paradise. Whatever is here is hell. Every nature is hell here, but you want a paradise. Suppose that a tree is here. The tree doesn't bear any fruits. It doesn't bear any flowers, no scent, no, not even shade we have from this tree, like coconut tree, palm trees. Not even the shade we have from the tree. Nothing of what the tree could give us as comfort, we are not seeing those comforts from the nature around us. We want a paradise now. We want gardens now, full of coolness, full of brightness, but there is no sun there. There is comfort there. Every kind of fruit you will have, every kind of scent from the flowers of different colors to the eyes. Everything is there. This is paradise. From beneath you, the rivers will flow. Even the springs will be gushing forth from the ground as fountains. All these things you want. That means you believe. How nice would it be if it were there? This is how you want, that is belief. Your heart is there. Heart means not the physical heart, but your mind, your soul, your chest, your bosom. Minus heart and lungs, we call it a heart. That is the chest. In your heart, God keeps sending you His inspiration, which you will like. And I like so many things, even now when I am speaking to you. I like so many things, but unmindfully I allow it to pass by. But God says, believe. That means wish for it. Here says Allah, O you who have believed, respond to Allah. Allah means the none but He. Allah means the none but Him. You can call Him either Allah or the none but Him or the word He. So the meaning of Allah is the none but Him who is speaking to you now with regard to your future, and He gives a lot of things which you cannot even imagine. It is a wish, not a desire, because we are used to desiring things. Whatever is visibly present in the outside world, we are used to desiring it. We have avarice towards that. Everything visible, everything is lovely to the eyes, beautiful to the feel, I want it. But whether it is useful to me, I don't know. I want a tree. What for? This tree is for everyone. I want the fruit. 4,000, 5,000 fruits will come. It is for you? No. So don't wish for the tree. Don't desire the tree. Wish for the tree. Then the gardens will come up. Don't desire a tree. Don't desire a garden. Wish for the gardens, for others also. Don't try to acquire and possess it for all for yourself. It is desire. God doesn't give you the desire, but He gives you the wish. None but Him delivers the message to you by way of inspiration in every breath of yours. It is not the air. It is not the respiration that surveys you. It is the will and command ordained by Him makes your lungs to expand. That is life. It is not that simply expansion of lungs, drawing up air inside and then delivering it out when it shrinks. It is not so. First expansion, automatic expansion happens how? When a surprising good news is given to you, when a surprising wisdom enlightens you, then I have a sigh of inspiration, a sigh of relief. That inspiration gives a relief. It's not because you are inhaling more of air, but you are inspired and you have understood the truth and you have wished for it. That wish has become your belief. I want it, there is a belief in it. I wish for it, it's a strengthened belief. I can wait for longer time. Without my knowledge, I believe. With my knowledge, I wait for the thing to come my way. That means it is a wisdom and a stronger wish, a firm wish. Knowingly, I understand, and knowingly I wait. It is not in my hands to acquire anything which will have lasting effect, lasting benefits. It will give me the fruits all my time. I know that if only I don't mess it up with my knowledge and start doing things after believing, I believe that it is my own belief I will do. It is not the belief of on something else. So I become proud with the limited knowledge I have, that animalistic knowledge, beastly knowledge. I try to do so many things. This is not the way a human will believe. We believe in God. We believe in the godliness to help us. Here again, we read 8:24, chapter 8:24. O you who have believed. Belief means in you or belief in something else. Believing in me means I can do it. Why don't you do it? Why do you wait for the time? Why are you then contemplating on how to start your work? How to manage your ways? Why do you think about all these things if you know you can do what is there to program it? You can straight away start doing it. People don't understand what they wish for, what will they have inside of them, and that will is not in their hands, but it is with the Almighty, the One, none but Him, Allah. We are all believers now, or we are not believers. Having understood this, we become believers. So, who is a believer? A Muslim, Hindu, or Christian, or all are believers who are non believers, who do not understand what they wish for is only a belief. They slip into non belief, unbelief. Never forget, from this moment onwards, every human being is a believer, which means he wishes for something concerning tomorrow. That wish they don't even imagine, they can't even give a form or shape to the wish. It is in abstract nature, unseen nature. If you are a believer, believe in the unseen. The unseen wisdom, that is the only sensible way you can attain your victory. That means you can gain what you want. Attainment is most important than grabbing whatever you see, whatever you desire. It is not that the attainment is not that grabbing, but attainment is the clear victory for life. So, O believers who have believed, now respond to Allah, the none but Him. No one can make you understand what you have believed in or what you wish for. None but Him will teach you, will deliver you as to the truth behind your wish and what exactly you need. None but Him. The very next moment, I am living on my belief. Automatically, I do certain things. If I do all these things, it is not pre-planned. I come here and do certain things, that's all. This camera must be placed there, this iPad must be placed there, this is how all people will be sitting, and this is the comfort in which he will be making his posture, and each one will have his own posture. It is not that we are deciding, we are not programming. It is being given to you by way of enlightenment, that you sit straight, that will be comfortable to you. You sit little bit crouched, that will be comfortable to you. You sit relaxed, you keep one hand like this, it will be comfortable to you. All these things you are being guided. You are not planning and sitting for 1 hour. Constant change in the posture of sitting and movement and adjusting all these things. Simple things we understand. Nothing is in your hand. Suddenly you start having the appetite. I want to take food. It is not programmed. You want to go for the restroom. It's a sudden impulse. It is not pre-planned. It is because you go and finish and come, then only you will be relaxed to receive more of the subject. You can gain whatever you have wished for in a better manner if you remove your dirt, if you remove wastages. So remove and come. All these things are impulses because you believed, you wanted to receive some good news, and if I fail to receive the good news, maybe I am severely warned of a consequence, which is to befall me on a later date. Definitely I sense it, I understand it. All this sensing and understanding is because you have believed about certain things with regard to your future. From the next moment till your last day, I am having certain wish in me, but you don't understand, you don't concentrate on it, and you don't even give a thought to it. You forget it, you allow it to pass by. But Allah does not forgive if you slip into wickedness, if you slip into unjustness, if you become a wrongdoer. Desiring everything that you see, and I want it right now, and you show your hastiness towards it, that's your destruction. When you are doing it calmly, peacefully, anything you do it, it is because you had believed Allah is conducting you. If you show any hastiness, whatever you had believed for this moment, you have allowed it to pass by, you didn't give a thought to it, so it has gone by. Now the situation has come. Whatever you might have wished on that day might have happened today. But whatever you have allowed it to pass by because of your ignorance and arrogance, things are turning the other way. You need the worldly things very urgently, very hastily. So you become wicked. You become cruel to the other people. You are destined for your consequences today or tomorrow, remotely or very near to you it is. Before facing the consequence, a time is allowed for you. Now Allah calls you to believe. Before even you start suffering an affliction from a direction unknown to you, while you are totally unaware, we are being caught in so many afflictions and sufferings. So before that happens, there is a warning going on in your heart. Something is bad about you, something evil is going to befall you. Forewarned here from unknown sources. I feel I am not all right. That means your mind is not all right today. Now you believe that I will be all right. Your immediate necessity now is I will be all right. I am confused in my mind. Your necessity now is I must have a clear mind. You are fearing about tomorrow, as certainly something evil will happen. Now your necessity is nothing bad shall fall tomorrow. You do not know what it is, you cannot even imagine the evil, but it is being told to your heart by way of inspiration, and admonition comes to us from Allah to guide you. The only parameter about how you will be tomorrow is how much peace you have in your heart concerning tomorrow. How much you learn today as things are happening before you. In the earth or in you, whatever that happens, Allah says, before it happens, It has been destined, ordained for you, for each one individually, differently. Each one will have different life, but it has been preordained, predetermined before it happens. And your heart will understand that things will happen in my way beautifully, most comfortable to me, as long as you are peaceful today. That peace is because you have believed. You believe only in the good things. If evil things are there in your heart, that this might befall me tomorrow, then the need is peace and stay in perseverance. On that thought, I need peace. Be comfortably perched upon the thought. Whatever you wish for is a belief, not your want, not your need. It's a belief, your wish that will happen. That is the will of God, will of Allah sent down on you, that you can wish for it because it is beautiful will of Him. If you wish for it and believe and stay patient, enduring with the time, then His will be done. And that is complete for all time to come. For you and for generations, it will be helpful. But if you are desiring certain things and grabbing the people's properties and your avarice has gone too much into your heart, that belief has gone, all the good tidings from Allah has been going, passing by you, not making you to concentrate on it, and you ignore it also because of your proud behavior. I know everything. That is the proud behavior. Because of that, you lose so many things by the moment in every breath of yours. Inspiration is lost to the winds, thrown, cast away into the winds, and then you are not the gainer of anything, but you are the loser of everything. Here, Allah calls you to something. You need life for you. I will give you the source of life. The wish, follow it. It is the giver of life to the life that you require. So, when He calls you to the life that gives life to life, calls you to something to believe, and calls you to witness, because whatever you have believed is happening today. Whatever has been forewarned here, it is happening today. You wanted to stop certain things from reaching you, and evil you are expecting. Some harm is coming your way. You are expecting it. Definitely you are seeing it. You want to stop it, but you cannot. You go to the people to save you from the bad events that is going to happen to you. Nobody is going to help you, because you don't even identify where from it came, how it comes. How it has dawned upon you, you do not know, but things have happened, has been decreed on you long before, because you were warned in your heart about this day, but you ignored it. Unknown fear in my heart, some unknown sorrow, or some unknown grief. Whatever I have lost in the past, the grief follows me. It is sticking to me. Remove it and seek peace in your heart. This is what the wish of Allah in your heart now. The none but Him is delivering to you. You are not speaking to me when I wish for peace, and nobody is speaking to me. Nobody has ever spoken to me this before. Only right now, my inner feel is there. I want peace because I am not able to tolerate my sadness, my sorrow, my grief, my fear, and I am becoming depressed now. You don't have the depression because you have allowed the emotions to accumulate in you, gather strength in you. It has cowed you down. Never despair. Before even you despair, things are there in your heart. Don't despair. Don't worry. Simple words. Even the people who see you will say, don't worry, without knowing what you are suffering, seeing your face, they will say, don't worry. Why you are not all right? Why your face is not bright? Simply they will say, don't worry. That is there inside already. So who speaks to you all this? It is God, the only one, the none but He, Allah. Listen to what is spoken, what is being spoken. There is nothing new that's being spoken. There's nothing new will be spoken in the later date. There's nothing spoken what you don't know now in the past. One word from Him, have peace. You have sorrow, what do you want? Peace. You have sadness, you want peace. You have fear, you want peace. You are angry, you want peace. You are depressed, you want peace. So, angry is because of something. I am angry because of something. I am sadness because of something. Every emotion is because of something that is happening against my wish. You are now having the wish that you want peace. You want peace. This wish has been given long before. When you know of things around you, at the age of 5 or 6, it has been given to you, you want peace. That you can wish for, you can believe in it. So what will give life to life is peace. What will shatter the present life is all these emotions, every emotion. Is it true? All emotion will destroy your peace. It is not the peace is destroyed that the emotions have started. The emotions destroy the peace. Why the emotions? You are not able to do what you want to do. And all your efforts go in vain. Nothing is fruitful to you. Everything that you try, it becomes a loss in the end. The consequences are even bad for you. So you become despair. You want peace. When the peace is there, you understand if all these problems are settled, whatever I am facing as problems, if all these problems are settled, I will be having peace. So have peace. Everything will be settled for you by Allah. That's the wisdom, ultimate wisdom. Wanting peace is ultimate wisdom. Wanting happiness is the ultimate ignorance. It is peace versus happiness. Happiness, you can't show it everywhere. Happiness, you can't maintain all the time. Peace, you can show everywhere. Peace, you can maintain all the time. Peace is given by Allah. Happiness is what you need, is given to you by shaitan. All shaitans will want happiness. But those who are endowed with knowledge and wisdom, they will say peace. I want a peaceful life. Everybody needs a peaceful life. So if they don't want a peaceful life, I want a peaceful life. If you are so happy in your house, I am invited to your house, I can maintain my peace. I cannot be laughing. You won't find fault with me because I am not laughing with you. Right? You won't find fault with me if I am maintaining my peace. When people are enjoying, shouting and dancing and all those things, I am maintaining peace and sitting calm and composed. Will anybody accuse me? Will anybody find fault with me? Or will anybody will say anything against me? This person is not interested and he is not joining us. When I am maintaining my peace and I am cordial with everyone, this will be appreciated by everybody. At the same time, on peace, I go to a place where a death has occurred. Everybody is sad. I want to show my happiness. Can I show that? I will be thrown out. I will be a despised person, disrespectful person over there. Peace can be shown everywhere. Happiness cannot be shown every time, everywhere. Even for yourself, if you keep on smiling, if you keep on laughing, I will sense something wrong with you. Peace against happiness. Happiness is the worst evil you can imagine you want it in your life. So Allah calls you to the life that gives life to you. Have peace. Have the peace I am giving you. Keep it in your mind, that becomes your belief, then I will guide you. Whoever wants happiness, I am away. And he gives a companion in you from Shaitan. He will guide you all your life. 824. O you who have believed, all of you have already wanted peace. So many occasions you wanted peace. After that, you wanted happiness. When the peace is given to you, you want happiness out of it. Peace is above happiness. Peace is not to be spent. Peace is not to be spent by way of happiness. You have to sacrifice your happiness to gain peace, the strength in peace, for acquiring more of wisdom high above knowledge. Knowledge is what your five special senses understands, knows. This is the five sense knowledge, animal knowledge. All your books, all your studies, all your education is beastly knowledge. It will destroy you. It cannot give you life. Allah calls you to a position high above your life that gives life to you. Have peace in you. That means it is not that you are maintaining that peace. Have the belief you should acquire peace and you should inherit the peace, and it must be an inherent capacity that it will carry you throughout your life without any sadness, without any fear, without any sorrowness, without any grief following you. Do we understand 824 now? Chapter 824. O you who believed, you have already believed. I gave you that belief, I gave you that wish. That is my blessing. Bestow on you my grace, my favor, anything you call it. It is in abundance. If you require, if you want, if you wish, if you desire, even if you are average towards that peace, more and more will be given to you because it's unseen. You cannot grab it from anybody else. Show your avariceness towards peace. Do not even like the money the people have. That is very open. You can cheat, you can beguile anyone, you can deceive anyone, you can rob anyone, as is happening now in our present days. Our money is being robbed. Legally, administratively, in the worst possible way that we cannot tolerate it anymore. If they start grabbing our hard-earned money, now I want more and more and more of the money, then you are a criminal. Because you know, you are seeing, your knowledge says money is your life, but God says your wish is your life, your belief is your life. Which one is true now after hearing all these things? If you go for money, I become wild, I become an animal, because whatever I see, I want it. Instinctively, I can use it for my bodily purpose, not for my heart. The moment I grab someone else's property, my heart pains, should pain, but it doesn't pain anymore. I have lost my inner sense. So you will not believe all through your life from this moment onwards unless you repent and mend your ways. There is no way you can believe there is God for you. Definitely, when I am very much comfortable today, happy today, I will not believe in God because I have everything. I can get what I want. I don't want God. This is how I will feel because of my pride. But once everything is slowly going away from you and all your efforts fail to keep you in balance, and definitely you have gone down to the point of suffering, and now you think that there is no way I can deliver myself out of it, now you will call God. Now God says, you only believe today, it will come to you tomorrow. So go through the process of suffering. That will be an expiation for you, compensation, just recompense for you for having neglected me all these days. So suffer through this. This will be a compensation for you for your ignoring the godliness in you. All through you were ignoring because you had some money. Your knowledge said this money is sufficient for your life, for the bliss of your life, and you can get comfortable with this money. And you kept on ignoring me, forgetting me all the while. Now I am staying away, you are calling me. I had told you God is necessary, something above, a greater power is there which created you, that's necessary. Every person will know, whether he knows Veda or not, everyone will know because it is inscribed in one's heart, and unless a man knows there is a power above him, he cannot be a man. He will be a dumb fellow. He will be sitting in a place without moving unless the belief of God works there. He knows. He is believer. But who gave that belief, who gave that instinct, who inspired into him, they do not understand until such time Allah is so patient on them. Until such time He clarifies who He is. Before that, by way of truth, they know there is one power above me. If only they understand, if only they give some thought to whatever they are gaining, whatever they are losing. How I am gaining this, why I am lost of this. If only they give a thought, they will understand it is not in their hands, but who gave me? Now you will know. He gave me. Why He gave me and why He took it away from me? He gave me because I believed in the first place. That means I wanted it, so He gave. After wanting it, I said this is sufficient, no more. So my belief has gone. I am back to my poverty now. I am again in all my sufferings. When the suffering and poverty comes to you, don't think that every evil has gone away from you, but he thinks so. A man thinks so. When the poverty and affliction strikes him, he says, I need. He says, I am a believer. He says, I am not able to do anything. I can't do anything, but I want it. To whom does he want? From whom does he want? To whom does he say, I want it? From within. When something is speaking to him, I want, he is not opening the mouth. Inside of him, there is a feel comes to him, I want him. I am in dire need of this. I can't earn what I want. It is hidden. But you want it. This is how we are being intuited. We are being informed. This is how we are being inspired. That inspiration, intuition is going on as information to us all our life in every breath. The messenger is speaking to you, what do you want now? The messenger of God, again unseen. From him a messenger comes to you when he is not able to listen to what God speaks to him by way of inspiration directly, then a messenger from inside speaks to him, throwing questions at him. What did you do? Now I blabber now. What wrong I had done? What sin I had done? Why should this befall me? Because he is asking. I am asking him why. God has gone away now. Now he has given the messenger. Because our standard is so low, he is putting questions to me and I am answering. I don't know what wrong I did, what sin I did. Let them all forgive me, to whomever I have sinned against. Let them all forgive me. All these things going on because he is asking me questions. The messenger is asking me questions. So follow your God in wishing the best, or follow your messenger when you are suffering. Definitely an introspection is going on. A retreat is going on here inside. The retreat, the introspection, you weigh. Messengers come to you asking questions. It's not that I am simply start thinking about why it has happened. The messengers come. Now he asks you a question and you are repenting because you retreat and you begin to understand your fault of the past. You begin to recall and you mend your mind. This is how the messenger is speaking to you from within, the unseen messenger, the messenger of God. We call them the angels. The angelical messengers descend on your heart by the leave of Allah to pose them questions and make them come to senses. We are now turning to God now only when we are suffering from poverty or some disaster. So follow the messenger because he is throwing questions at you. You have so many questions inside. Answer properly one by one, then you will know where you have gone wrong. Don't go to the people and say, what sin I had done, why it has happened to me, why God created me. Whenever He gives everything, He wants to live for 1,000 years or 2,000 years or endless life. He wants to live on this earth. But when he starts suffering, he asks questions, why God created me and make me suffer. Those people who say, why God created me, why should He make me suffer? I say, die now, can you? Why He created you to live? You are asking why He created, I don't want to live, die. You cannot know. You want to live. That's for what God created you. So listen to the messenger, he will speak to you. Seek questions from within, he will answer you. And he will question you, you answer him. This is the way to godliness. This is the way to repent and correct. Mend your ways. God loves who repents and mends his ways. What for you are created? To live. I don't want to die. How to live? Abundantly, with abundant provisions everywhere, from above, from downward, from below, from left and right, from the front and from the behind, everywhere, from all around, you must be supported. That is survival, beautiful survival on this earth, beautiful life on this earth. But for this, you are struggling hard on this ground, on this earth, yet finding nothing for your comfort. Allah calls you to a life source, to enrich your life, to enliven your life, to enlighten your heart so that you can be a firm believer in everything you wish for. Chapter 8, 24. O you have believed, respond to Allah and to the Messenger when he calls you to that which give life to life. And know that Allah intervenes between you and your heart. You means what you do. I know you means I don't know your heart. I know only your frame, your form, your shape, that's all. When you say I, you mean only the form, nothing more. Anything else? When you say I means the form and shape and my age and my appearance, so much. When I say you, I see only the appearance, nothing more, a physical appearance, nothing more. So between you means between your physical appearance, external features, that is involved with the exterior of you, the nature around you. My exterior, my outward exterior, that means my 5 special senses: eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and the skin. All these things are the exterior. That only looks the exterior, looks at the exterior, wants only whatever is available in the source outside of me. This exterior is linked only to the nature. that is formed visible, and it only wants it, it loves it, it craves for it, it desires it. This is the exterior. It is created in just measure. Something is created for the eyes alone. Beautiful garden, it is given to the eyes or to your entire exterior. A garden is necessary for your eyes or your entire exterior. Mostly. I see from a hilltop and I see such vast greenery, a scenery. It is for the eyes or it is for all your body. You want to taste the greenery or you want to feed your eyes alone. Eyes. So don't try to grab it. It is not for your hands. Smell, it is for the nose or for your hands. So don't try to grab the nature. It is not for you alone. It is for the entire population to come also. Your heart says this now. If you follow the heart, when you follow the messenger when he is asking questions to you before even you do certain things, why do you want this? Without messenger asking it, this question, and without us ignoring it, we don't do anything from the instincts, impulses we get from the five special senses. So be careful about these five special senses and don't become a person who is ignorant in spite of having been given the knowledge, full knowledge. Don't make yourself an outcast in the assembly of wise people, in the assembly of beautiful people. Don't become a froward, an evil character. So will you now listen to 824 and abide by what Allah has decreed for everyone? Unless you think, thinking means asking questions, at the same time answering the questions by the messenger. When some question comes to you, the messenger is asking you. When the question comes to you, I am to answer it because I am doing without senses so many things. Without sensible application of mind, I am doing so many things. This is not the way I will behave from this moment. Whenever I want to do, why? What for? It is only for you? No, for everyone. Keep that in mind. I am living for myself, Allah is not going to help you. I am living for everyone else, definitely. He sees you as a wise being. Definitely his help comes through. Shall we abide by God now? Yes. He says, I intervene between you and your heart, between your exterior and your heart. Heart means not the pumping station, not the physical heart. Mind. Between your mind, which desires. I am posing question, why do you desire? Until such time, he keeps answering, he elevates himself from that desiring level to the level of being wishful, unseen. He becomes a believer in the unseen. Don't become a believer in whatever that has produced forth from the earth. That is greed, that is desiring. It is not wish. Whenever something is before me manifestly, I want it, that is desire, it is not wish. I wish you good means I don't know what good is, you don't know what good is, I can wish you good. We are exchanging wishes, the unseen wishes. My heart. If only you have that heart in you, then Allah intervenes between you and your five special senses. He will not allow you to fall a prey to your five special senses, which will go and grab everything that the earth has produced, but Allah will produce it for you, all and you. especially suitable to you. When Allah produces something for you, it is in abundance. So you will not have any crookedness in the heart, and you will not have any niggardliness in the heart. You will be having a blessed heart, expansive heart, which will give to everyone because it is abundant. If you have some possession and if you are not niggardly, you are not miserly, then that means Allah's providence is with you. If you have so much of possession, all in the world, all the gold in the world, if you possess, if you are miserly, then by your greed you have acquired all those things. It is not going to avail you anything in the future. So how much my heart is expanded, how much my heart is constrained, by this you will know whether you are using what is evil for you or whether using for you what is good for you in the future. Seek forgiveness from Allah because we are niggardly to a certain extent. Unless our heart becomes expanded, we are sure God's providence has not extended its grace on me. With this, we come to a conclusion with regard to 824, chapter 824. O you who have the wish in you, you are believers. Those who have want in you, become a believer. Think, why do you want it? Then make some adjustments so that something unseen requirement comes, attaches itself to the visible requirements you have. Let there be an unseen message also attached to it. I want food. Now the unseen message is, I want a good food. How do you find the good food? I do not know, but I want the good food. Be a believer in this way. I want to eat. I want to be comfortable after eating. This is the unseen wish. So every need of yours, you add that unseen, that becomes a beautiful thing from God, will be provided to you. So you give to others also. When you add the unseen also with the desires and needs and wants, because I want only things that is manifest before me. That's not abstract. Whatever abstract, add. That's the quality. Abstractness, unseen is the quality you are adding to it. Only God can give the quality. When you are giving to others also, don't think that you are giving alms to others. Don't think they are beggars. Make this penny, whatever, even a paisa I have given to a person, you believe in God, Allah, and give him. Let him flourish with this. So, you will not have jealousy when he really becomes a multi-millionaire before you, when you are earning only thousands. Remove your pride. I am the only one. No, one above you is there already. There is one above everyone is already there. Don't think I am. At least say we are. That is better addressing about oneself. Don't say I am. He is the one who is above you. Don't say simply I am. Have concern for others also. Let us believe we. So you are believers now. When I want something, the same thing others also want. So I will give. I want. Why I want? To give others also. Each one will need everything. If it is to be, if it has to come from God, then say we need. To yourself. Outwardly you can say I, but inside I want it because I want to spend for others. Because it is God's grace. Not that they don't have the food. When I invite you to my house for the feast, it is not that you are begging. I must give you the food. This is from my heart I am giving. That will be beautiful to you for life. It is not that without food in your house you have come here to eat. But people go there as if they have no food in the house whenever they are called to a feast. They will eat so much, they will even starve for one meal and then go there for full meals. This is not the way we will behave. Eat whenever people are calling you. You are going to eat only their heart is giving and you are receiving. And when you go there, you take some gift also. It doesn't mean that they are spending crores of rupees for the feast. I am giving you the flower. That doesn't mean he is benefit of the sense that the flower gives them. We give them that particular scent from my heart. It is not the scent for the nose, but it is comfort to the mind. People who are proud may throw it away. People who can sense, they can keep it. They will value it, they will appreciate it. And we appreciably give them. Whether they ignore it or they think that is not their need, they are very well off, and before others they cast you aside, don't worry. Don't feel that you are humiliated. They are not humble before God, so seek forgiveness for them, that's all. Don't have hard feelings about them. All these things are going to mend you to a greater level for the better belief in your life, so that your whole life ahead of you will be much rewarding. The generations will flourish because you are humble when people humiliate you. You seek forgiveness when they are arrogant. Everything is unseen, beautiful character mending here. That gives you better belief for you tomorrow. Oh, you who have comprehended all these things, hereafter respond to Allah. Be a believer in the unseen and respond to the messenger when he poses questions to you. You answer him. When you pose question, don't think he will go unanswered. Messenger will answer you. When he calls you to that which gives life to life, and know that Allah intervenes between you, that is your exterior, and your heart. Intervenes between a man, his exterior, and his heart, and that to him he will be gathered. You are now in pieces, bits and pieces. You are not able to gather yourself. If you turn to Allah, He will gather you in one piece. That gives you the ultimate peace. So, our prayer is, oh God, I have listened to everything, whatever you told me. Hereafter, I will be very careful in my duty to you, to accept you and believe you, O Allah, and the messenger I believe now in him. I will not dismiss him, or I will have no ignorance of him. My humility will be causing me more and more fear for you, and I will guard my nature, my exterior nature, because the interior is so powerful. About tomorrow, more and more wishes are coming to me. I will be definitely be a believer, and I seek of you to increase me in my belief and gather me in one piece, so that my peace will be definitely confirmed for me this day forever.